It's party time, that's right. We've got the brand new Party Time plastic. This is a Calvin Heimburg destroyer, and we're gonna see if it's the beefiest run of destroyers that's ever been made. In this video, we're gonna be doing a full review of this Party Time Champion destroyer. I'm gonna talk about the hand feel, the side profile, the dome, and of course, how it flies when compared to a regular stock destroyer. And so, without further ado, let's check out the Party Time destroyer. All right, let's start off by comparing the Party Time Champion destroyer to this regular star stock mold. We're gonna throw them both flat into this right to left headwind. We'll see how they can handle this wind. Starting off with the Party Time Champion destroyer. Shows a little bit of turn just because I think of that left to right headwind, but then you get that reliable stability, that fade, that destroyer fade at the end that you know and love. Okay, now for the stock star destroyer. A little bit more flip. I threw that one just a little bit nosier, so you're gonna see it dive a bit more at the end. But there is just a little bit more flip in that star plastic after those first couple of throws that I've noticed anyways. I'm gonna go grab those, come back, we'll try them on a bunch of different angles so you can see the stability differences between the two plastics. So they made the Party Time plastic before, but it was only in a very limited run and in very select molds. I'm actually lucky enough to have one of them. It's about maybe 1 of 100 or 1 of 200 in a Firebird mold that I'll probably end up doing some content on later on, as it's got a pretty cool story. And shout out to Anthony, who runs the Innova Pro Shop bus or trailer that you've probably seen at Pro Tour events, as he's the one who gave it to. Now the Party Time Champion plastic seems to be a lot like the Crystal Z Jawbreaker blend from Discraft, and I'm not sure what the differences are between the two of them because I've never thrown any of that plastic. But what I will say is in this new run, it is super smooth. There's no plastic pieces that are kind of coming through that I felt in some of those earlier prototypes. It's also a very smooth feeling Champion plastic. I don't want to say that it's slippery because it's not, but it doesn't have the same kind of grip that I had found in other Champion plastics. So keep that in mind if you're going to pick one up. All right, let's throw these back into a headwind. Okay, so on those first couple of throws, throwing them flat, I did notice that the Party Time Champion destroyer does have a bit more fade, making it just a little bit more overstable, which kind of makes sense. Champion plastic usually is a little bit more overstable than Star Plast. Now let's take a look at the side-by-side profile. You can tell that there's a lot more dome in this Party Time Champion plastic than in the stock Star run, probably giving it a little bit of a different parting line height and making it a bit more overstable. You can probably hear the difference in this dome if you listen just carefully. Bit of a heartbeat on this one, nothing crazy. Nothing on this one. I think all of the Party Time Champion destroyers did have that similar dome, or at least the ones that I was looking at all had the similar dome. So you can kind of expect them all to be like that. The one thing that I'm going to say is that this plastic feels amazing. I was saying it earlier, how I've noticed in the prototypes before in the Party Time Champion plastic, there was a little bit of plastic that seemed to be coming through, and you can kind of see if you look closely, like right on this edge here, it almost looks like it's coming through, and you can just feel a little bit of a plastic difference there. But overall, the plastic does feel pretty amazing. It feels like a more premium Champion, if that's even possible. And I think it's just because it's got a smoother feel to it. I feel like they really spent time making sure that there was no flashing on this disc whatsoever. All right, let's try these on some different angles to see how they can handle that. Still going into this left to right headwind, so keep that in mind as well. Oh, it flipped up just a bit. And then hyzered at the end. Okay, I was surprised by that flip up. I wonder if it just caught a bit of a gust because it is more overstable than the stock run. The stock run, when I'm thrown flat, it did show a little bit of flip up as well. So I'm gonna try and throw this on the exact same hyzer angle, see how it handles it. Also flipped up, rode straighter. I did aim that a little bit farther left, but it definitely flipped up and then rode that hyzer flip a little bit longer. So without a doubt, that Champion Party Time plastic is showing a bit more overstability. I'm gonna go grab those and we're gonna try them on an anhyzer. I just grabbed those discs, but as I head back, I just wanted to shout out the mod squad, the awesome Miles of Disc community. We're now at over 1,800 subscribers on YouTube, and that still just blows my mind. So if you're liking the content, make sure you hit that like button, and if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. Once we reach 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a huge giveaway. Details at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned until the end. All right, let's get back into reviewing this Party Time Champion destroyer. Alrighty, so let's try these on some anhyzers now. I think they're going to handle that quite well, although this is a pretty stiff headwind coming at us now. One of those nice cold fall days. really low, but it did not want to fight out into that headwind, which is very interesting. I'm gonna try and throw the stock star one on the same angle, nice and low, just so we get a good comparison. And almost a roller angle just because of that headwind. Yeah, they're both pretty much doing the same thing. They're not as overstable as I would think, and I think that's why I'm throwing them on such serious angles there. It's definitely not as overstable as a duo plastic, which I'm going to be making a video coming out soon, and it's definitely not as overstable as those Halo Stars. However, it's definitely more overstable than the Star versions, but I'll get into that after I grab these discs. We'll talk about where they fit in the lineup, who these discs are for, and kind of just my general thoughts on them. Okay, so I kind of teased it before, but we're almost at 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, and that is something that I want to celebrate with the whole community. So starting with this video, I'm going to be putting together an insane giveaway package. Every video from now until the end of the year that gets over 200 likes, I'll be giving away one disc. In this case, it's obviously going to be this awesome Party Time Champion Calvin Heimburg Destroyer. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button for me so you don't miss out on these giveaways and all the other content that I'm putting out. All right, back into the video. All right, before we get into kind of stability and where they fit in the lineup, let's try them on some forehands. Destroyers are great power forehand discs. I'm not the best forehand thrower, but we'll give it a shot anyways. Yeah, they're great. Super reliable, does pretty much exactly what you'd expect it to do. Pushes out there and then hooks up at the end. Let's compare it to a forehand with the stock Star one. A little bit flatter profile, so it's a little bit more comfortable in the hand. Yeah, I was able to get that one just a little bit lower, a little bit straighter because it is a more understable disc, but only by a very small margin. Okay, I'm gonna go grab those, and we can talk about where they fit in kind of the overstability chart within the different plastic types, talk about who that disc is for, and just my general overall thoughts about the disc. Okay, so let's talk about the overstability of this disc and where it fits compared to other plastics in the Destroyer mold. Now, we've compared it to the stock Star Destroyer, and yeah, it's a little bit domier, and it's just a little bit more overstable. So it's probably gonna be more overstable than the DX and the Pro versions as well. And I'm willing to bet that it's going to be slightly more overstable than the Champion ones, just simply because I think it has a bit more dome to it, and it's got a slicker feeling. It's not slippery, but it is also only about 3 degrees Celsius here. It's a very cold fall day, so it's probably not giving me the same type of grip that I would normally get. Now, if you live somewhere down south, Florida, Texas, and it's always hot, this disc might be perfect because that little bit of extra stiffness might be exactly what you're looking for. It's definitely not as overstable as, let's say, a Halo Champion or even a Halo Star version of the Destroyer, so it fits just below that. So who is this disc for? This disc is for anybody who is looking for an overstable Destroyer mold, something that can fight headwinds, is going to be super reliable, but I think it's going to be more dedicated to those power throwers than, say, people that are throwing 350 or less. That being said, throw what you love. If you love a Destroyer, then this is one that you should probably check out, especially if you're a Calvin Heimburg fan or a collector. This plastic has only been made once before that I'm aware of, and in very limited runs. This has also been put out into a special edition limited run, so I doubt there's going to be that many of them. But I'm curious because by now some of you might have already got your hands on this, so let me know in the comments what you think of this Party Time plastic. Remember to hit that like button if we're going to get this video over 200 likes so I can put this in the 2,000 subscriber giveaway that I'll be doing at the end of the year. That's it for this review. I'll catch you in the next one, and as always, get out and throw.